where are we speaking of Miami? Larsa Pippen, Michael Jordan's son. She's
the one
speaking
story I
out.
didn't read.
Janelle's not happy about it. Shaquille O'Neal is not happy about
Oh
it.
yeah, he thinks it's so disrespectful and gross because obviously Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan were,
They had beef.
teammates for years and years. They did seem
teammates.
to have a falling out. The Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, that was done a couple years ago was oh my God, it was so good. But they did end up having a falling out over I believe it was like a money contract dispute. And then there was a game that Scotty really didn't play. And anyhow,
You're so straight, Sarah. You're so straight.
let me give you the straight girl. So I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it because that documentary, it's awful, but it had everything. It just had extreme like fame, wealth, Michael Jordan's family. Michael Jordan's father was murdered. It was awful, like in a parking lot. It was very that was a whole story. You had, Carmen Electra was the only woman they featured on the documentary. It had this pop culture crossover. It's really, really good. And what I love is I can't imagine being at the competitive level that Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan just, Lord, it's like the Tom Brady thing. It's like these people that they're so, I don't know, focus driven, like on a level of, I don't know if I could do that. But anyway, it was great. So I get it. I get Shaq's saying, like, it's a little, I think Shaq's point is like, how desperate are you? And like, really, girl, like you're beautiful. You could get other people. You have money and you're dating Michael Jordan's son, who I believe is like 14 years younger, 15 years younger than she is.
When she was on here, she said she doesn't have a type. That's what she says. She says she doesn't have a type.
Larsa is interesting to me. I want to sit down with her because she's had a lot of, she used to be very tight with the Kardashians. Then she, had a major falling out with them. I don't know.
Larsa is an icon. I don't care what anyone says. Love her or hate her. She is icon status. The Chrisleys are going away.
And he's 31. And Shaq just said it looks bad.
I see nothing wrong with that. Do we believe either of these two people that are claiming that they're done? First of all, Miss Mia Thornton, I mean, is she really? She's being cryptic. She's being cryptic, the girl. She never said she quit, but she's implying like, I gotta quit something. Girl, this is the shit I hate. You're not quitting. And if you are, just say you're quitting. Nobody cares. Quit or stay. Stop being cryptic for drama's sake. Monique, though, we believe, right? Maybe she says she's done with reality TV.
Wow, I don't know. Do you? This is very interesting to me. I need to call my friend Monique up and say, okay, Monique, tell me the real story. She's claiming.
Why doesn't she tell the real story here behind the Velvet Rope Sarah Fraser show?
Yes, she needs to. I'm going to reach out.
What is she claiming?
Well, she says it's a contract dispute. I mean, that could be because we know in general, reality show salaries are going way, way down than they were, let's say 10 years ago, let's say even 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they're way, way down. So she says it came down to a contract dispute. And now she's done with reality TV. Again, I love Monique and Chris. I'm not surprised that they're done with reality TV. I kind of thought they would be after Potomac, but Carlos King is the producer on Love and Marriage, and they're very close. So probably Carlos was able to say to her, let's do this. Well, maybe you can have a little bit of a say as to how you're portrayed. So they probably, I'm just speculating. I don't know that, but maybe that swayed them. But at the end of the day, they're, I don't know how much, I bet the ratings are under 1 million an episode for Love and Marriage. So probably Chris and Monique were like, here's our number, take it or leave it. We don't need the money. We don't need the hassle. And they probably were like, look, it's just not worth it. Like, I don't know.
I agree. Sometimes we agree. I agree. We all agree a lot. I agree with all of that. I think that Carlos and her are very close. I don't think it was easy. I think Carlos probably signed everyone else on the dotted line for season 1 and had to court Monique's ass hardcore. And I don't mean that as an insult to anyone. Like, I think she was like, let me tell you about this guy, Andy. And Carlos is like, let me tell you about fucking Daddy Andy Cohen. And the two sat there and had their wine and fucking trashed Andy and trashed Bravo and said, Bravo's the devil. And Carlos is like, they're the Antichrist. It's the worst network ever. And Monique is like, they're sick. And after all of that, yes, Carlos had a promise, like, I'm not a scumbag like Bravo and this and that, even though, you mean, and then they did whatever. And yes, I think Monique is, and what is she saying? Like, it's money, it has nothing to do with our marriage. And, if you're all reading into this.
Correct.
I don't listen. I think two things. Once again, my favorite new saying. I think two things could be true. I think it probably is money. I think that, look, I love Monique and Chris. They're probably not easy to work with from a producer standpoint. I think that she's been burned so bad by Bravo that she feels. So I don't think they love it. I think, look, Monique likes a little bit of being in the public eye, but I don't really think they need that. And I think they're just like, they probably needed a big number and they're just like, we're not doing that. I mean,
and Monique's like, really, I'm sure you've experienced this too, but Monique's really real. Like, Monique is not,
yes.
And so is Chris. They're very real. They're very sincere. They just have real things going on. So, I mean, I guess I'll be curious. I love shows in DC because obviously, DC I'm forever grateful for. I'll be curious to see if Love and Marriage DC can last without them because they were sort of the big names. So I don't know if they can get somebody else big name to come on. I don't know.
I agree with all of that. I don't know if they can get someone else big name to come on. Yeah. I don't know if they even have the money for that, but we're going to see. We're definitely going to see. I mean, does anyone care about Madison LaCroix's honeymoon? Her husband's hot. He is actually really hot.
Oh, he is hot.
Can I just also say,
I don't care.
I don't find any of the Southern Charm men hot. I do not find Craig or Austin. First of all, their personalities, I'm just going to keep to myself, but I don't find either of them hot at all. Like, I watch Winter House and I'm like, the one with the best body, well, now we have Corey, excuse me, is my friend Jason Cameron, who was on the show. He's fucking hot. I did him in person and I couldn't even concentrate. I was like, oh my God. We were in the studio and I was like, oh, can you just Can you do this shirtless? But Craig and Austin and, what's his face? Patricia Altschul's son. And I don't find any of them attractive. I just would like to go on record of saying that,
I know. And
can I say that?
I find Madison gorgeous. And
you think it's a step down from A-Rod?
Yes. And isn't that terrible? I feel like that is just so like, I don't know. Lame, but I just feel like Madison is on A-Rod's level. Like, I really, I mean, that was a huge moment. I mean, Madison LaCroix, you can say what you want, but I mean, she broke up J-Lo and A-Rod's engagement. Now, was there trouble in paradise? Yeah, but those two had been together for years, like 4 years. That was J-Lo's, 8th or 9th engagement? I mean, they were, now maybe not. I mean, J-Lo moved on to Ben real quick. So maybe there was a lot of trouble in paradise. But that, to me, I don't know. I just saw her with an A-Rod. I saw her with kind of a guy, older.